Into it now. We about to find out some things. You know, I'm Felicia Thomas, and I have the extreme pleasure of working on the radio station with Killer Dealer Roscoe Miller. I know y'all know him. Y'all know him. He is like a legend in his own. So it's been a true pleasure. And then I know you guys know Cassie J and Daryl Lee, so it's been a true blessing over the years to work with them. And it was just a pleasure that I was invited. I don't know. I said, "Are you sure this is what you want?" Because I'm just a little bit different now. I got a little bit of energy about me now that's a little different now. Because I get excited in being a part of something greater than myself. You guys can make history right here in Greenville. Okay? Do you understand that? You make history. Because if you don't make me have to move to Greenville and then show y'all how to do this thing now. Because you know in Montgomery, we got our first black mayor, Mayor Stephen Reed. And then in Talladega, of course, they got their first black mayor, Timothy Ragland. So it can be done, right? Oh, okay. I just want to make sure y'all were here. Okay, so again, I'm definitely excited today. And we're going to get into Mr. Crum's business and see what we can find out about the man. Now, as I said, it's an opportunity for you guys to take your power back. Okay, so one thing about it, when you leave here, don't leave here like, you just came to a quiet little event. You got to have energy. You got to be on fire. Okay? You got to stir this thing up. Okay? Yeah. So, now, and then it's more than about this being the first black mayor in Greenville. Here is a man that is qualified, a proven leader. You watch the videos. This man has come from good ground. So, and I love getting a chance to get to know him because once you get a chance to know a person, then that makes it easier for you to represent when you go out the door. Okay? You are not going to win an election being sorry and dragging your feet. But you get a chance to know this man. And he definitely is ready to represent because he's been representing all right. I feel like I'm already talking to the mayor. Because he's been out here doing stuff already. Okay? It's real simple. He's been already doing it. What's the problem now? Registered voters, you got to do your part, though. You got to do your part. So, Mr. Crum, how are you doing this evening?
It's been a great day, just a great afternoon here in Greenville. I feel the energy, the excitement.
Oh, yes.
A shift has come with this past election. And now it's just a whole new energy in Greenville, and people are ready. These people of Greenville, aren't you ready? People of Greenville are ready for a change.
Okay, that's good stuff. That's good. I love it. Now we're going to ask you a couple of questions, just so people can get a chance to kind of get a better idea of what your plan is. As mayor, I know on your platform you have engage, serve, advocate. Now, it's not something that you'll start doing. It's something you've been doing.
Been doing all along.
That's right.
Engage, serve, and advocate. What has happened in politics, especially here in Greenville, but all over the country, when you are any type of leader, your main objective should be to serve the people. That's what it should be. But we've gotten it twisted. Now it's people that want to be lords over the people. So that's why I want to engage with the citizens of Greenville. After engaging with them, finding out their concerns, their needs, then I will be able to better serve the people and the citizens of Greenville. And then I will be able to advocate for them. That's where it came. Serve, engage, and advocate for the people of Greenville. And that's what I want to be. I want to be a servant to the people of Greenville. Right now, that's not happening.
Right.
The people of Greenville, they don't have that in a leader.
Right.
That's what I would be. And I know once I'm in office that we will be able to carry that on. And I know the people of Greenville here, from this point forward, they're going to go out. They're energized. They're ready. Greenville, right now, it's a change coming to Greenville, Alabama.
All right now. Okay, Mr. Crum, describe the impact that you as mayor can have on improving education and include in your discussion the importance of the business sector in being a part of this process.
Well, education is near and dear to me. It was near and dear to my parents. So, as I said in the clips, my father was the type person. He knew that we were good athletes. You know, anybody can be a good athlete, but to be able to do what it takes to continue your education, to be better educated. My father, I think he made it to maybe the 9th grade of school. And at that time, that was doing sharecropping and all of that. What happened was he had to work. So he was not able to continue his education, but you wouldn't be able to tell it. By engaging with him and talking with him, you wouldn't be able to tell it. But he went to the 9th grade. And he always impressed upon us to get our education. In Greenville, I think at this point in the Butler County school systems, we're operating on a D, C. I think that's the grades right now. Okay. And a lot of that has to do with educators that are not fully involved with the city in which they are teaching.
Right.
And back in the day, we had teachers that lived in the neighborhood, that taught our parents, and then taught us. But they cared about the community because they lived in the community in which they were teaching. And I think that we have to have people that truly love to be an educator.
Exactly.
In order to teach our children. Now, in tying in the education to the business sector, when we started Butler County Concerned Citizens, we were invited over to the school, and we were given a tour of what they call Career Academy.
Okay.
Once I saw that, a light went off in my head, because those were the vocations that we used to have back when we were growing up. You had the carpentry.
Right.
You had the maintenance. You had the auto mechanics. You had all of those vocations that we were able to be involved in and get an education in, and you didn't necessarily have to go to college. A lot of people not go to college. College is not the end-all or be-all, you know, but that's a good avenue to take when you were able to utilize those parts of the education. So they had the Career Academy, and we were so involved in that and getting our students to be a part of that, because when you're talking about bringing those businesses into your city, you have to have qualified people.
Right.
You have to have qualified workers.
Right.
And that's what's not happening right now. So in order to tie that in together, then I pledge to you, that's what I will be able to do. I'm already talking to aspects of industry that want to come, but we have to be able to invite them in without any strings attached. So that's why I am, and that's why part of my platform also is being transparent. So that's how I would do that.
Okay, awesome. You see what we're working with here, right? Mr. Crum, so tell us what are some of your ideas for increasing jobs, and also talk about youth services for the youth in Greenville.
You know, I've been, over the last few days, I've really been talking to our youth, and it's very disheartening because the youth of Greenville right now and Butler County, they have a bleak outlook, very bleak, and it's disheartening. It's disheartening because we always say the children are our future, you know. I was being interviewed one time, and I asked a woman that was interviewing me a rhetorical question. I said, are the children really our future, or is that just a cliche?
Right.
You know, what we do is we look at the children now, that's the product of us not doing our job. All right. You can't blame the children. A tree is known by the fruit that it bears. You can't look at the fruit and say you're a bad fruit without looking at the tree. So that's where we are. I don't blame the children. You know, I spent a couple of days in, as we were talking to the youth around the city, and I went into the a barbershop the other day, and I was talking to the youth, and I said, look, man, I'm going to be the next mayor of Greenville. And they looked. Well, we with you, that's what you're going to be, because we need something to do. Our recreation system is not what it should be. So we used to be able to go and play ball in the summer, and our parks were up to par, and, you know, we were engaged and playing and had sports to do, you know, during the summers and had things to do, you know, but now that's not happening. So that's one thing that I will bring back. The youth and the young, that's going to be top priority on my list when I become mayor of this city.
All right. That's good. You're doing a great job. Okay. Now, Butler County citizens have expressed concerns about the current public transit systems. Okay. So, what plans or ideas do you have to improve the transit system in the city?
I want to say this. Sometimes when you have somebody or someone doing good for you and you don't realize that that's what they're actually doing, so you will sometimes not be on board with what they're doing. But I just have to say this, because there was a person the other day just asked me about public transportation in Greenville. Butler County Concerned Citizens invited the Department of Transportation to Greenville. He came in, just laid out a plan that we could utilize here in Greenville. Butler County, the Butler County system, how it would work, no money involved, just a beautiful plan for Greenville. This is the caveat. The Butler County Commissioners and the city officials, the mayor and city council, have to work together to bring it to this area. We went to both of them. One, the commissioners, we have to look into it. And we all know what that means. How long do you have to look into it? It's been over, the gentleman told us it's been about 15 or 20 years since they really had that type of transit system here. So how long do you have to look into it? That's number one. Number two, the city council, in order for us to even bring that up in city council, you have to have more than a 5-minute meeting.
Okay.
So our city council, you go to a city council meeting and that's what you have, a 5-minute meeting. But these are the type things that will be addressed and redressed when I'm mayor. You will be able to bring your concerns and the things that are going on in the community to us, and we will address them. So to answer your question about the transportation department, the plan is there. The funds are there to do it. August 25th, 2020, we'll be able to implement those type plans.
All right now. This is good, good. Okay, so we were just talking about transparency, and that's a part of your platform. So Greenville community, they deserve transparent and inclusive government. So informed citizens tend to be more active citizens, right? Exactly. So talk to us about creating transparency in government.
Well, transparency in government, it goes two ways. One, the city officials have to be willing to be transparent. But number two, we as citizens, we have to be concerned enough to go to these meetings and hold people accountable. We've been Butler County Concerned Citizens when we started. We said that we would go to every city council meeting, every Board of Education meeting, and every commission meeting. That we have done. But listen to this. As we are at those meetings, you know who's there? Just our members. That's it. So what happens is the government officials say that you don't care enough to be here,
Right.
then we're going to do what we feel that we need to do.
That's what happens, right?
That's what happens. Transparency is something that I'm going to be, in my administration, it's going to be an open book. But you have to feel that you have a stake in your government, and you do. There are thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars being spent on your behalf, and you have no idea what's going on.
Right.
What's going on? So it's about us doing our part, but it's also about holding people accountable. They work for us. We don't work for them. They work for us. But we have to be willing to do what it takes to be there, to know exactly what's going on. It's a shame, some of the things that are going on in government, the monies that are being spent, your taxpayer dollars that's being spent, and you haven't a clue to what's going on. So it goes both ways, and it's incumbent upon us to do what we have to do, not only vote people in, but once they're voted in, then you hold them accountable for your vote. That's what I would do.
Awesome. Now, disaster preparedness. It has truly been an area of concern for most citizens due to recent dangerous weather trends that have hit surrounding areas, just Nashville, just the other day. And so, do you have a disaster preparedness plan that can be implemented in this county that will help to save the lives of the people?
Well, a lot of those disaster preparedness policies are enacted it comes from the government.
Okay.
So there are people in the government now, one of my, a person that I've known for a long time, he works with the government in disaster preparedness, and I'm going to be working closely with them because right now we just had in Alabama a tornado. I think it was in Alabama, a tornado that just tore up and ripped. So I'm going to be heavily involved, interacting with the governmental agencies to make sure that Butler County, Greenville specifically, is prepared for those disasters.
He has a plan, y'all. Okay, one thing, you have a leader that has vision and they have a plan. That's somebody you can follow. Yeah. Okay. Now, Mr. Ideas for improving neighborhoods, because I know a lot of citizens that care about their neighborhoods and what's going on in the neighborhoods, also about resurfacing roads and improving the lighting within the city.
Well, what we did as an organization, and we've had several, and this is how you know what's going on in your communities, and we have town hall meetings. When you have town hall meetings, you get to know what's going on in the communities, what it is that the citizens feel that needs to be addressed. So at those town hall meetings that we had, a couple of things that came up over and over again. The roads in our neighborhoods that are not being attended to, and the lighting in some of the neighborhoods. Yes, and she's right, in the loud noises. But what has to happen? You have to have people that are concerned about what's going on in your neighborhoods. So obviously, because that's been going on, especially the roads, for a long time. But you have to have people that are willing to address those needs. That hasn't been happening, and all I can say to you, I can pledge to you, that the needs and the concerns of the citizens and the community will be addressed when I'm mayor. Just know that.
You'll be a great mayor for the people. You've already been working on behalf of the people already.
Yes,
now, I heard a little something that you were very instrumental in, making sure that that first Martin Luther King Jr. parade came to Greenville. Oh, yeah. Right? And so I got to say kudos, because to be the first to do something. This 2020, right? This was the first? The first Martin Luther King? Oh, wow. Okay. Now that should have energized the whole lot. Y'all should have been marching. I'm talking about marching, because that's a great accomplishment, to be instrumental in impacting the first. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, what we wanted to do, a member of the Butler County Concerned Citizens, matter of fact, the president, Mr. Robert Blankenship, we were talking, and it came up about the parade. He said, man, we ought to do that. And once you conceive something, then it's about going to work, making it happen.
Right.
We came together as an organization, and it didn't take a whole lot of time. And it was one of the best parades that has ever happened in Greenville, Alabama. And on that note, when to honor someone like Dr. Martin Luther King for the work and the service that he did on behalf of people, I know people that lined up along the parade route. I could see tears in their eyes. I could see some of the elderly just overjoyed
Right.
at what happened. And it was one of the best days of my life to see that happen. But beyond that, now that the people have seen it and it has happened,
Oh, yeah.
you can't put that horse back in the barn.
All right now.
They're looking forward to next year and the year after next and the year after next. But the next one will happen when I'm mayor of Greenville, Alabama.
All right. That's good stuff.
We were initially going to have a video of the official parade clips, but we had some technical difficulties, so we're not going to have that at this time.
That's all right. You know what happened. Okay? It's good stuff. I know we want to do questions.
Yes.
Questions?
We can have questions from the audience.
Okay.
We
Anybody
have
have questions?
We have
for
another
Mr.
mic.
For Mr. Crum, right?
Mayor Crum,
Go ahead now.
we don't have a Dr. King Drive claim that down yonder. We ain't claiming that. That we ought to be ashamed of ourselves for allowing that down on 185 to even occur. Amen. But my question to you is, will you consider
Operating that it has been operating in, that could easily happen. That can come from the citizens of Greenville. You have the power. You have the power. That's a citizen of Greenville call. And it's easy to do. So when I'm mayor, just know that we can make that happen. But what I want to do in Greenville is change minds.
There you go. That's what you got to do. That's right.
I want to help change the culture of what's been going on in Greenville. It's easy to, you can change a street like that, but we have to change the mindset
That's right.
of our communities. She asked about improving our communities. You improve your communities when you improve your thought process. When you think less of yourself than you should, that's not good. My philosophy is, we're all children of God. God has placed something from himself in each and every one of us. We're different. So that doesn't mean that you're better. We're different. We're all children of God. So what we need to do is change our mindset. Stop thinking less of ourselves.
That's right.
Look at each other. Don't look down on each other. Look at each other as equal parts in a living society. That's what we need to do. That's part of what I'm going to bring in. We have to change our mindset, start looking at each other as we should, not how someone else looks at us. And then we start communicating with each other because someone else looks at us a certain way. No, we're all children of God, and we just need to change our thought process.
That's right.
And stop looking at ourselves as less than. Okay?
That's right. That's right. You got another one.
Into it, but we all know why. Well, maybe we don't all know. Maybe it needs to be addressed. Some people may know. In a lot of these towns, especially the southern towns, that was a good day for some people and a very bad day for other people.
Okay.
For black people, that wasn't a good day, because we know the things that happened at noon during that time, So what they've done is, it's like a grandfather law, after a certain period of time, you just go along to get along, So that's what has been happening. But those are the type of things that we can look at, once I become mayor, Yes.
That's right. That's good.
We just got time for two more questions. That's a great question, and I'm telling you, it's very, very disheartening. I'm telling you that. I went to a couple of barbershops yesterday, and just talking to some of our youth that are, in the communities. They're very disheartening. I'm telling you, because all of them said the same thing. We have nothing to do. There's nothing for us to do. There's nothing that has been provided for us to do in terms of entertainment, extracurricular activities, those type things in the community. I've been some people have approached me about something as small as, and when I say small as, it's really not small in the grand scheme of things, but as small as a bowling alley. You know what I'm saying? Something as small as a bowling alley, some type of entertainment for our young to do, but to help in the communities to help us help ourselves, to help our children, help our youth and our young. That's what I'm going to do. Because I mean, if it was just one or two people, that would be too much. But it's as if the youth have given up on us providing something for them. And I tell you, like I told them, that's going to change. And it's going to change in a hurry. Well, black-on-black crime and drugs, a lot of times that goes hand in hand. And a lot of times, when you don't have a lot to do as a young person, sometimes, you know, I'm not going to say an idle mind. It could be a mind that's active. If you don't have a lot to do and you feel that people aren't concerned about you, being engaged with our youth and our young, that would eradicate a lot of these crimes, a lot of this crime that's going on. I am not one to look at our children and say that they're just bad and evil, and because that's not the case. That's not the case at all. You can't look at our children like that because they are us. We're not separate from our children. We are them and they are us. So, Katrina, what I would do is I would help our youth become better than what they are now. And that way, that would eradicate a lot of the crime that you're talking about, but it would also improve the lives of us, of our children. So I'm so ready. It's like I'm the mayor now. That's how I feel.
It is.
And I want you to know this. In closing, I want you to know this. This run for mayor, I don't know if you've been looking at our campaign. It's not shabby. It's top of the line. It's first class. It's a good quality product. That's number one. Number two, this is not cosmetic. This is not just I'm putting on a face. This is me. You saw that. I wasn't thinking about being mayor. This was me being concerned about our community. That's what that was. So I want you to know that when you vote for me, I become mayor. Just know that. That's number one. Number two, we have to go out of here today, energize the community, let them know what they missed, but they can still come aboard.